The Real McCoys, starring Walter Brennan, created by Irving Pincus.
Want you to meet the family known as the Real McCoys. That's Grandpappy Amos, the head of the clan. He roars like a lion, but he's gentle as a lamb. And now here's Luke, who beams with joy since he may take Mrs. Luke McCoy. From West Virginia they came to stay in sunny California. Oh, Grandpappy Amos and the girls and the boys of the family known as the Real McCoys.
There we was in each other's arms. Me and that doggone grizzly bear. Just a squeezing and a squeezing.
Doggone grizzly bear?
Must been 10, 15 feet high, looking down at me and a grinning. And them corn-sun teeth a-shining in the sun.
Was his corn-sun teeth sharp, Grandpa?
Sharp? See, they were so sharp I could stick them through the eye of a needle without touching either side.
Then what'd you do, Grandpa? What'd you do?
Well, I didn't have much choice, considering I didn't have a gun or a knife, so I just outsquozed the ornery critter.
Boy, you can just about do anything, can't you, Grandpa?
Well, I reckon I ain't going to start lying to you now. Truth is, I can.
You're just about perfect, ain't you?
Well, I don't go around blowing my own horn.
Amos, am I lucky to have a grandpa like you to learn from? I reckon I'm the luckiest fellow in the whole darn world.
No, it ain't Grawdern, it's Gawdern. Gaw from Garley and Dern from Gawdern.
Oh, thanks, Grandpa.
It's all right. I guess that's what Grandpa's is for. To learn the young'uns. That's the best way to do it, too, is be a shining example. Hey, boy?
If you say so.
I do, boy, I do.
Senor Alva, what are you and little Luke doing?
Well, what does it look like we're doing? We're fishing, that's what we're doing.
Oh. Well, I think I better get you another barrel. There's no fish in this one.
That ain't got nothing to do with it. Man don't just go fishing to catch fish. Goes fishing to catch up on his thinking.
Little Luke, where you been? Kate's been wondering where you were.
I'm right here.
Well, you know it, but she doesn't. Now, you get in there and help
Now,
her.
just a minute, girl. Since when is a female go ordering men folk around?
Since when does a female go ordering men folk around?
He be in when he feels like it.
When I feel like it.
Well, we'll just see what Kate has to say about this.
Let's us men folk go in and see what the female wants.
Yeah, let's us men folk go see what the female wants.
What are you limbering for?
Pure?
Oh, my son, he's hurting me.
So's mine.
Never come on reading that now. He knows I can't read. God, done it, anything I hate is ignorance. Read it, Kate, will you?
What have you done now, little Luke?
Nothing, Kate. Leastwise, nothing that I know about.
Dear Mr. McCoy,
Hey, he's kind of affectionate for a stranger, ain't he?
your grandson Luke has been undergoing a rather decided change lately, both in actions and attitude.
There, you see that? Even the teacher knows the improvement. Go on, Kate.
I would like very much to meet you and discuss the matter further. Please come by at your earliest convenience. Signed, Mr. Saunders.
Is that all?
Yes, Grandpa.
You see that? He just wants to get some of my learning ideas and pass them on to the other young ones.
Grandpa, I got a strong notion that ain't exactly what Mr. Saunders got on his mind.
Why, just because he didn't come out and say it? He's seen what I done with little Luke and he just wants to wheedle it out of me. Howdy, Mr. Saunders.
Yes?
Well, I'll be glad to tell you how I done it. Of course, they ain't going to work on all the young'uns, because they got to have the makings to start with. Of course, it did come kind of natural anyways, because I've had him since he was knee-high to a sow's belly.
A sow?
Yeah, I learned him every gall-blame thing he knows. And now, I ain't one to go around tooting my own whistle, but anybody tell you if it weren't for Amos McCoy, why the boy wouldn't be worth his salt.
McCoy. then you must be young Luke McCoy's grandson.
Not only his grandpa, his pa, and his ma, and his wet nurse, and his teacher, and most important, I'm his shining example.
Sit down, Mr. McCoy. I asked you to come over here, sir, because I'd like to talk to you about your grandson.
Yeah, I just wish his ma and pa was alive to hear this.
That speech of yours, Mr. McCoy, pretty well confirms two of my suspicions.
Huh?
About where little Luke gets his picturesque language and his rather antiquated attitude as regards the opposite sex. Mr. McCoy, Luke seems to think that girls are some sort of inferior beings who were put upon this earth for the sole purpose of being subservient to men. Now, can you imagine a boy of his age with such ideas?
Yeah, he is kind of a word at that. Kind of scares you, don't it?
And it scares the little girls, too. He pushes them right out of their place in line at the cafeteria. He calls them consarn females, and he tells them they'd better learn to know their gold-darn place. Now, do you think that's right?
No, it ain't right. And if I've told him once, I've told him a dozen times. It ain't gold done, it's gone.
Now, perhaps this sort of thing is acceptable in your world, Mr. McCoy. but it is most certainly not acceptable here. Well, there's probably nothing that we can do about your influence on him, but there is something we can do about his influence on the other children.
Well, now, just a minute. Are you trying to tell me that little Luke is a bad influence?
No, Mr. McCoy. I'm telling you that you are.
You just get back? What's the idea of sneaking up on a fella like that?
Oh, I'm sorry, Grandpa. Hey, Kate was telling me about you going down to see little Luke's teacher. What do you want to see about?
One thing I can't abide is a person who sneaks up on a fella.
I said I'm sorry, Grandpa. What was it he wanted to see you about?
Sneaking up on a fella like that. I got a good mind not to talk to you for a few days and learn you a lesson. Now, where you going?
Well, I'm going to go down to school and talk to the teacher myself.
Well, you just hold on. Lesson's all over.
All right, Grandpa. What did he say?
Well, he said that little Luke was a fine, upstanding boy, and,
what else?
just a big fuss over nothing. Besides, a man of my age has got a right to bust out now and then. What am I supposed to do when things go wrong or I feel cantankerous? I'm supposed to say, oh, pick up.
Well, do you know that lately little Luke's even been acting snippy to Kate? He won't fix his room no more. He said, well, you fix it. It ain't fit and work for a man.
10-year-old. You know, Luke? You can never tell what's liable to become of him someday.
Ain't no liable to it all, Grandpa. I know exactly what he's going to become. Using your language and looking down his nose at females and telling whoppers to anybody that happens to be within earshot.
Now, you hold on, Kate.
So he's been telling whoppers at school, too, huh, Grandpa?
Well.
Now, if little Luke grows up believing and acting like you, he just ain't going to fit too good, is he?
Well, what do you want me to do?
You've got to tell him not to use that language.
Yeah, and to show some respect for girls, even if they are females.
He can stop telling them whoppers.
Now, Luke, he thinks being like me is the greatest thing that could happen. I just can't tell him, Luke.
You gotta tell him, Grandpa.
Kate. All right, I'll tell him. I'll tell him to stop being like his grandpa. I'll tell him to stop using my language. I'll do to be better than me.
Better than you, Grandpa?
Well...
Better than perfect?
Well,
Or ain't you perfect, Grandpa?
Of course I am, but just... Now, Luke, you can forget everything I just told you.
I can?
Yep, because I just had me an idea that'll do the same thing without me telling you what they said I gotta tell you.
What idea, Grandpa?
You never mind, son. Oh, my sciatica. Gad blamed Henri. Oh, pickles.
Here they come.
Poor Grandpa.
Hi, Luke. Hi, Kate.
You don't look very poorly to me.
No, you don't look near miserable enough. Grandpa, did you...
It's all took care of.
Oh, then you did.
I said it was all took care of.
But, Grandpa...
Quit hounding me, boy. Well, I guess I'll go into my room and neaten it up, I might.
You, Grandpa?
Yep.
But ain't that female work, Grandpa?
Well, I'll tell you how I look at it, little Luke. Kate does so much for us. The only way we can show our respect and consideration for her is to help her out whenever we can.
But ain't she liable to start thinking she's as good as us men folk?
Who said she weren't? Almost.
Wait, Grandpa. I'll help you.
Grandpa, neating up his own room? Now, what do you reckon he's up to, sugar babe?
I know. Instead of telling little Luke Grandpa's going to be that shining example he told little Luke he was.
Grandpa? A shining example?
Grandpa,
Yeah, boy.
does this mean you've changed your mind about men being better than women?
Well, of course not. But if we don't do some of these female chores now and then, how's we going to keep reminding ourselves of how inferior they is?
So why have you been cleaning up your own rooms all week?
Sure.
Well, I'm pretty well reminded now, Grandpa. Can we quit for a few months?
Look at me, boy.
Some more, Senor Grandma.
Damn, mine. Oh, pickles.
How come you don't use them regular words no more either?
Oh, I just get tired of them, that's all. Fella sure can get himself in an awful rut using the same words all the time. Now, you try old pickles. Go ahead, try it.
Oh, pickles.
Don't that put a good feeling in your mouth?
Darned if I know.
Durned. There you go. Right back again to durned. Right back in the same old rut again. Now, come on. Try old pickles.
Oh, pickles.
Well, I'm hungry, snarling wolves, so...
Hey, Grandpa.
There I was. alone and barehanded, facing a single hungry, snarling wolf.
Barehanded?
With just a pair of gloves on. And with the gloves, I was holding a gun. But there I was alone.
Alone.
Except for 6 or 7 friends. Facing that hungry, snarling wolf.
Wolf?
Well, all right. I was the one that shot that hungry, snarling gopher.
That was a real nice story, wasn't it, little Luke?
I didn't think so.
I didn't either. And this is getting more than flesh and blood can stand, God-darn it.
Grandpa, you said...
I don't care what I said. I've been talking in a certain way and telling stories and keeping the rein on females for nigh on to 65 years. And I'd feel like a low-down polecat of a hypocrite to try and change now. And that old Pickles is fitting to my mouth as a pair of lacy pants from my old mule.
Grandpa's gruel during consort right.
Luke, you just got to tell him, Luke.
I will, sugar babe, I will. I'm just waiting for him to simmer down. You know, he stomped off last night like a bear with a burr up his nose. Grandpa.
I ain't going to do it. I ain't going to break that boy's heart.
Grandpa, are you sure it's his heart you're fretting about?
Grandpa, we understand how you feel. And if you could have done it by setting an example, well, Luke and I would have been mighty pleased. But you couldn't. So you're just going to have to tell him in words.
The boy looks up to me. He thinks I'm kind of... Did you ever see the look in his eye when he's studying me? And a man don't like to lose that sort of thing.
I know, Grandpa, but you just got to tell him.
I ain't going to tell him, and that's final. I don't see nothing so all-fired wrong about him wanting to be like his grandpa. Us McCoys has been abusing the language and telling whoppers and keeping women in their place almost since this country of ours has started. And there never was a McCoy man that come to a bad end, nor a McCoy woman that left a man. I think that's pretty fair, Ricketts.
But times change, Grandpa, and...
No, I ain't going to do it.
I ain't never going back to that old Pine Tar school. I ain't never going back. I'm glad I did it.
Did what? What happened?
Well, we had a little trouble today.
I wish I could say it isn't serious, but unfortunately it is.
What happened, Mrs. Saunders?
I'd do it again if you said the same things about Grandpa.
Do what again? What'd you say about me?
I told him that some of the things he was learning from you were wrong. Then he said you could do no wrong, that you were perfect, and then he kicked me in the shins.
You kicked him in the shin.
Now, Grandpa, it ain't his fault now.
Sit down, little Luke. As a matter of fact, Mr. Saunders here was right.
Grandpa.
And I was wrong, because I ain't perfect. I'm just a foolish, selfish, ignorant old man.
Well, that ain't true.
No, that ain't true, little Luke. Of course, maybe Grandpa's got 1 or 2 faults, but outside of them...
There ain't no outside of them. I use bad language, you know why. Because I ain't got the education to use good language. Can't read, can't write. I ain't a lawyer, I ain't a doctor, I ain't nothing. I'm only good to work with my hands. I'm just an old man that don't fit no more. And anybody that tries to be like me, they ain't gonna fit no more neither. I lied to you, little Luke.
You just had your say. Little Luke, nobody is perfect. Not even your grandpa. But that doesn't mean that there aren't a lot of important things to be learned from him.
And it took a heap of courage for Grandpa to fess up to his faults like that.
More than that, it took unselfishness and real love.
Yes, little Luke. Courage, honesty, unselfishness, and love. Those are the things to copy from your grandpa.
Them other things, good speaking and good manners, them you can get from a book. But the really important things you got to get from somebody close to you, like Grandpa. And without him, all them other things got no meaning. Do you understand what we've been trying to tell you, little Luke?
Sure. Outside of his language, and looking down on women and telling whoppers, my grandpa is perfect. Sorry for what I did, Mr. Saunders.
That's all right, little Luke.
I want to thank you, Mr. Saunders. Thank you, Kate. You, Luke. God darn cold.
Grandpa!
What is it, boy?
Your language.
Well, you trying to correct an honest, unselfish, courageous, loving old man like me?